Hello and welcome into another episode of Cheerful by Choice. I'm so glad you're here. This is the last episode for season 1. So make sure that you come back, mark your calendar. Season 2 is going to be starting after summer is over when our kids are back in school on August 29th. This is year 2022, by the way, just in case you're listening to the replay. So August 29th, mark your calendar to come back for the first episode of season 2. Now, meanwhile, you can reach me at cheerfulbychoice.com. Today, we're going to be talking about what we're winning at. What are you winning at? You have things that you're winning. Anything can count. Okay. So I often will kind of forget that I have a lot going on. And that sounds kind of funny, but it's just part of life. We just do it. We just hang out and do life. It's just kind of you get used to what you're doing. And so I kind of forget sometimes that I have quadruplets. So if you didn't know, I have quadruplets. And I have 2 other kids. I've got 6 altogether, and 4 of them were born at once. I birthed them all. And so it's kind of funny that I I was with a friend that I haven't seen in I don't know, 22 years, almost 20 years. And she was introducing me to her mom, and it was so fun. She's like telling my story, and Lydia's got quadruplets and her da 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 da, telling all the parts of my story. And it was so fun and so crazy. And I was like, it's not a competition. It's not. And she kept saying, Lydia wins every time. Her mom, it was so fun. Her mom was helping someone else who has quadruplets that are young. They're like 2 years old. And she's like, oh, these people have this situation. And my friend said, nope, Lydia wins. And I thought, how funny is that? It's not a competition. But what are we winning at? Because that is a big win. It really is a big win to have a mother of quadruplets. Really is a big win. And 2 other kids. Having kids challenges us. Even if we have 1 kid, you can say you made it through the day and it was a win. If you gave your baby a bath and fed them and hugged them, it's a win. You did that. It's so great. And we neglect to acknowledge how awesome we are. What are you winning at? I don't usually go up and introduce myself. Hey, I'm Lydia. Nice to meet you. I have quadruplets. I don't do that very often. It's not like the number one thing on my mind. At the time that I needed help, when we were still like adjusting to them, like when they were babies, yeah, I said, I have quadruplets all the time. I didn't like it. It was weird. It it made me feel like I was a circus show or something. Well, okay, now I am. And I've accepted that. But there are things that we win and we get used to it. Time passes and it's not as immediate of and it's not the focus of our attention anymore. My kids are growing up. They're teenagers. I don't have to have help to feed them and change their diapers and all that anymore. And it's not the number one thing on my mind all the time that, wow, I have quadruplets. I've risen to the challenge, I guess you could say. And it's not just having quadruplets, it's a lot of other things. It could be, someone who has conquered cancer right in that moment when the cancer is being won. We are celebrating and we're excited and, hi, nice to meet you. I just did this. I just conquered cancer. Yay! That's amazing. And it's the number one focus. But 10 or 15 years later, they just say, hi, my name is whatever their name is, and they don't introduce themselves to you as a cancer survivor It is very much still a win. What are you winning? And we don't want to scare and shock people, but it's still a part of our life, right? And we're just not putting all of our attention into that priority anymore. So we forget. It just becomes part of life, but it's still part of who we are and what we've become. What are you winning at? Sometimes there are things we're winning at that we don't really want to share. Um, for a while, I wanted to ignore that I had quadruplets because I thought it made me unrelatable. People couldn't like people couldn't see me as a human if they knew that I was a mother of quadruplets. And I this sounds so funny, right? But it scared people. It made the conversation only about how did you do it? And it is shocking and it is amazing, but there are other parts that I want to be known for. I want to get to know other people. And when they find out that I have quadruplets, that's what the conversation is about instead of learning who these other people that I'm meeting are and finding out what we have in common. So I share a funny story that it's another illustration of a win that we've had recently in our family. That's an ongoing win. And sometimes we don't notice when we're winning because it's just part of the undercurrent of life, right? And so just think about what is it for you that you might not be noticing, how amazing you are and how amazing your life is. You are here for another day and you are doing it and you're still here and you're winning and then celebrate it for a minute. So we went to an activity and all of my boys are so tall. You can see them when we take pictures of them in the orchestra performance or different things, and they're on a stage and you say, which one's yours, right? We take a picture of the whole group. Which one's yours? Oh, mine's the tall one. It's always mine's the tall one over there. And so we were at this activity and somebody approached us and he says, oh, I think I recognize you. You're the parents of those tall boys, right? I'm like, yeah, and here's our daughter. The boys were not with us at the time, but our daughter is not over 6 feet tall. So she isn't known as one of those tall boys, other than she's a girl too. But she um she had been to some activities. She's with this person who came to say hi to us, and I'd never met him before. And he hadn't put our daughter and our sons together in the same family because she's short and she's got glasses and she's just like the odd one out because she's the girl. And so anyway, he's like, and you're in the play with me, right? That we meet on Thursdays. And I thought I recognized you. And how do you fit in? And so she says, we're quadruplets. And of course, it was like, are they twins? Are you triplets? What's going on? Nobody ever asks if they're quads. So that's always fun too. And I kind of stood back and was like, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see how my daughter handles somebody discovering that she's a quadruplet, because it was the first experience for me to witness. I'm sure she's told people that she's a quad before, but he didn't put her together with us. And of course, there's that shock factor and wow, how'd you do it? That's so amazing. And my daughter took over and answered the questions, and it was such a win for me. It was a huge win to watch her as she has grown up. She's 16 at the time. She's 16. And she says, structure and routine are amazing. We get through life with structure and routine. And I thought, how amazing is that for a 16-year-old girl, not only to be holding her own and telling about her life to this person that we just met, that she, I guess, kind of knew or at least had seen before, but to be promoting structure and routine as a means of helping us win. And it really, really is true. When they were little, oh my goodness, you had to have the structure. And when we haven't, when we've taken a break, and like, oh, for example, in the last year, probably in the last year, we have changed a bit to accommodate some other external needs. And other people came into our life that we were trying to accommodate instead of standing strong. And this is what we expect in our structure and our routine and our schedule, because we had a care and a love for this person that we wanted to embrace and support. And in that experience, we changed our structure a little bit. We let our routine kind of slack off. And when we get back to it, when we're done with trying to help other people and we come back and say, okay, this is what we're doing. We're getting up in the morning and we're eating breakfast and all the different things that we do as part of our family routine, we are able to really be strong and flourish and progress so much better when we have that structure to build around. And my daughter recognizes that as a 16-year-old girl. So, what kind of structure can you put around your winning? This is like the foundation of growth. If you have a solid foundation of a routine or a structure, some sort of expectation, if you want to call it that, what you provide for yourself, for your loved ones, your home, your family, this expectation of being on time to school, being on time to work, just showing up. If you're going to pass a class at school, it's very beneficial to actually go to the class. And it's even more beneficial to be there on time when they first start. That's a routine, that's structure. If you're going to get a raise at work, it's beneficial to be on time every day. It's structure, and we can provide those kinds of foundational supports for our own life. If you wake up in the morning, are you going to brush your teeth and shower every day? Are you going to shower at night? There's different things that we can incorporate to expand that structure. And it can be like incorporating meditation, exercise, so many things that you can incorporate into your daily routine and your structure to help you win. I want to suggest that you add or continue, if you're already doing it, a gratitude moment, what you're thankful for, um, putting a blanket of gratitude over everything really is magic awesome sauce. It changes so much. And I think that's going to be able to get you through a lot. It's gotten me through so much. It gets our family through so much. It gets everyone that I know who has used gratitude has had a happier, easier life, even when it's hard, even when we're struggling and we're in that moment that we might not want to tell people I'm struggling with cancer, or we might not want to tell people that I have quadruplets and life is really, really hard. We might want to keep that to ourselves. And sometimes it's okay to keep it to ourselves. We don't have to be out there telling everybody everything all the time. If we have some gratitude, it makes it a little bit easier. And sometimes it's really hard to find something to be grateful for in those moments, but it's there. you can create gratitude as part of your structure to support your wins. And counting the wins, recognizing the wins. Over the summer, while we're having this break between season 1 and season 2, I really want to have a compilation of all the wins that everybody's doing. Send them in to me at cheerfulbychoice.com. You can get my email, or you can send me um, send me what's going on. I want to stay in touch. I want to keep up with what's going on with you and your world until season 2 on August 29th. Remember, that's when we're starting up again the next season, August 29th, 2022. And let me know how you're winning. Summer break is a great time to count our wins and create more wins. Recognize how amazing you are, all the things that you've been doing. And, it could be as small as just putting a Facebook post out there. So many times, okay, this is a little personal. So many times I get, maybe the word's overwhelmed, maybe the word's something else, but I get to a point, and this is kind of silly, but I get to a point where I'm like, I just don't have the energy or the time to go on Facebook or social media to say anything about what's going on in my life. Not that I don't want to connect with other people, but I got a lot going on. And it's not my number one priority all the time to be on Facebook, because I've got in-person live things going on. Which, by the way, if you're at cheerfulbychoice.com and you get onto our mailing letter, I would love for you to be on the VIP list to know when we have live events, because those are my favorite. I love doing things in person with other people. Anyway, somebody comes to my house, one of my friends, and she says, by the way, I love all the stuff that you put on Facebook. I was going to give up and quit that. That's a win. That's a really big win, to know that just showing up means something to somebody else. And I'm going to probably bet you are also noticed and seen more than you know. This isn't the first time somebody's come up to me and said that they like my Facebook stuff, but not everybody comments, not everybody likes or hearts it. And you don't know how many people are admiring you for your strength of showing up another day. All right, so that's what we've got for today. Make sure you remember how important you are. I want you to remember that every day. As you're counting the wins, you are worth it. You're worth knowing that you're important, and it's worth sharing that. And I look forward to hearing from you. I'm so excited for season 2 coming up, and we will see you then. Cheerfulbychoice.com is where you can find me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful day, wonderful summer. I'll see you August 29th.